Hi, I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Justy.
and together we're losing it. We've each lost over 100 pounds with the help of diet, exercise, and breaking bad habits. And I also had weight loss surgery in 2020.
And I recently had skin removal surgery.
We're just sharing our journey and what we've learned throughout the process.
And we're not doctors, so if you have any medical questions, reach out to your doctor.
Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to talk about our whys and our future self, and maybe a touch about our past self, and just why the why is important. And so, with that being said, I'm going to let Justy tell us why the why is important.
Yeah, so I think just like with anything we do, like we go to work because we need a paycheck.
Hmm.
And so there's always has to be a why, like a why that's important enough for you to put the work in. And if you just say, "Oh, I just want to lose some weight," well, that's great, but like being more specific about like the details of what that weight loss could bring you is going to allow you to celebrate, like we talked about our last podcast, the NSVs, or a couple podcasts ago, the NSVs as they happen. So if you
Mm.
break it down to say, well, I want to lose weight because this, and this. And I think we didn't know back then that we were doing that.
Right.
But now looking forward, if we would have known back then that
Mhm.
this is something that we should do, it probably would have kept us maybe, who knows, right? You can't predict the past or change the past. Um, it would have given us probably a little more reason to stick with it.
Right.
Because right now, when I am struggling on days I struggle because I struggle, we all struggle.
Mm.
We're all broken.
Yeah.
I I think, no, Justy, you're not going to eat pizza because that's not who you are anymore. Well, I eat one piece or two,
Right.
but I don't eat the
You'll
whole
eat it when it's
thing.
on your
Right.
plan.
I'll eat it when I
Yeah.
plan it. I'll eat it when I'm not feeling an emotion or I'm eating it. I'll eat it if I'm eating it out of hunger, but I'm not someone who just goes face down in a pizza anymore. And so I remind myself of that because that's not the person that I am.
Hmm.
And I definitely don't want to be the person that I was. Although I appreciate the person that I was. I love her. She
Mm.
was great. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that kind of ties into as you were talking about it kind of triggered something in my mind. I'm a trainer, I have a training background, and I always found it so important to tell people why we're doing
Hmm.
this way,
Hmm.
why I'm asking you, because without it, it's like
Right.
it goes right over their head. It's like, I need you to cut these onions to a quarter-inch dice. Sure thing, lady. But like, why do they need to be a quarter-inch
Hmm.
dice? Or why,
Hmm.
let's take it back to I'll take it old school. Making the mango salsa. Like,
Yes.
why do you put the steak weight on the onion when
Right.
you're char? Because you want to get that char,
Char.
not just,
Hmm.
hey, put a steak weight on that, but
Right.
why?
Right.
Because the why resonates with
Hmm.
people and it helps them. If you know why, then it's that kind of like reminder to
Hmm.
do it that way.
Right.
So if I know my why, then it's a
Hmm.
reminder to myself of why I'm doing what I'm doing. No different than when I'm training somebody. This is why you put the milk in the refrigerator so it doesn't spoil and curdle. It's the
Right.
same thing. Why am I putting myself, my body, my mind through all of this is to live this healthy life.
Right. Right. And I had a thought
Mm.
and then it just went away.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Mm.
So I think for us, it was kind of like they've changed. So my why, you can't do all the whys. You can't
Mm.
have all the whys. So I was just telling her earlier, I literally wrote down a list of whys and then it kind of caused me a little anxiety. I'm like, oh shit, like there's so many things I have to change. And then I was like, just back it up, bitch. Just do one thing at a time. So I, pick one and tackle it
Mm.
and then make that a habit and then move forward to the next one. Like I really, really, for some reason, one of my biggest like NSVs was being able to put like a normal towel around me. So it was like, listen, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to eat this, whatever, blah, 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 because I want to put a towel around me. I
Right.
want to be normal.
Right.
And not that I was what is normal,
Right.
right? but I wanted to be what I knew my normal was because it wasn't where I was.
Well, and normal is a set point as well too. They
Hmm.
make the towel that size for a reason,
Right, right,
right?
right,
Because that's what the majority of, or not even the majority, but that's what is, I guess, the acceptable size person would be able to wrap around themselves.
right. And so for me, it was kind of like I knew so deep down inside the person that I was, the way that I felt, that was not my purpose in life. That
Mm.
was not the way I was supposed to live my life. The people, even, and this sounds crazy, but even the people I was surrounding myself with were not my people.
Mhm.
And I knew that. And it's so hard though to like,
And you had to let them go.
oh, had to let a lot of people go.
It's
You know, it's
hard.
like I'm gonna take it back to the Bible verses here real quick. Probably most of you won't know what
I
I'm
don't know what
talking
she's talking about.
most of you won't know what I'm talking about. But when you are hanging around the pool of brokenness and you're using lame excuses to not get up and walk towards the path you're supposed to be on, you're going to stay in a pool of brokenness.
Mhm.
And that whole entire pool is full of broken people.
Yeah.
And until you stand up and you take your mat with you and you take your excuses with you and you start walking, a lot of people say towards God, but for me, it was towards health, you're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
And those people that are in the pool of brokenness are going to try to pull you down,
Mhm.
pull you back. They
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want you to stand.
No.
They want you to be with
Misery
them.
loves company.
Yes. And so for me, I might have talked about earlier, I remember like, actually, I think it was one of my children
Mm.
told me that I was stuck up
Mm.
now. Um, no, I'm not stuck up, but what I did is I got up
Right.
and I started moving towards my goals.
Right.
And so,
That's always the first thing people wanna
mhm,
say. You think you're better
mhm,
than everyone
yeah,
else. You're stuck up. You're too
uh-huh,
good for us now. No, it's
mhm,
like, this is just not who I
not
am.
anymore. And it's kind of like,
Like, because we discovered a new version of ourselves,
right,
and that's the life we
and
wanna
not
live.
surround myself with people who are benefiting from my brokenness. I'm going to get up and I'm going to heal myself.
Mm.
And so that's what I've been working on for years.
Right.
And
And if you don't
so
wanna heal with me, then I have
then
to let you
I
go.
gotta let you go.
Right.
And because I don't have, and I get a lot that I cut people off or I'm not loyal or whatever, right? And I probably do, but I don't have the energy for your
Right. You
problems
just make a quicker
too.
decision
Yeah,
that, like, it's
yeah,
not for you.
it's not for me.
Right.
And because it's taking the energy away from the path that I know I'm supposed to be on. And I feel blessed to feel so clearly about that because it's not easy for everybody, but
Right.
I feel very clearly about what path I'm supposed to be on, what I will and what I will not accept in my life.
Right.
And I'm adamant about that. So, some people call it a bitch. Some people
Oh,
call it
well.
many, many things, but
But
I
those
call it
people
what
don't pay,
Justy
and they don't pay
wants
your
to do.
bills.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And so my why was because I knew didn't know how, but I knew I was going to be in this place now and feel the way I feel now.
Mhm.
And I know that I'm only going to feel better.
Right.
And so, we talked about, we were talking before this a little bit. Steph had some totally different whys than I had.
And I had no idea that I would ever, I honestly didn't think I would ever be here. I really didn't.
And I
I
did.
was hopeless.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I was determined.
Yeah.
So we were very different. We both
Yeah.
got here. We
Yeah.
both got here different ways.
Yeah.
We both got here for different reasons. And we'll
We
both,
both wanted it.
right. And we'll
Yeah.
both continue on this path
Oh, yeah.
for our different reasons as well and in our different ways, right? Because we made different choices to get here.
Right.
So what we do isn't going to work for everybody.
Right.
But for me, the biggest thing was writing down, figuring out what my whys were for me. Um, when I first started, my whys were, like I said, wrapping a towel around myself, feeling more energy, feeling confident. I was a confident person, but listen, my H2 and H2.5, those are husband 2 and 2.5, if you haven't been listening,
Mhm.
um, they never saw me naked with the lights on.
Yeah.
They never did. And I just didn't feel comfortable with that. And let me tell you, sorry, mom. Last weekend when I was in Helen, Georgia with Steady Eddie, I walked around the hotel in my underwear with the lights on, no bra, nothing else on. And I felt confident and I felt good.
Right.
And I never, I
That's a
never
whole new
imagined it's a
experience.
whole
Yeah,
nother experience.
for you.
It for me, yeah, it's a whole nother experience for me.
Some
And
of
so
us didn't care.
right, like I did. I really did care. And I think that it did cause problems in my relationships because I just wasn't confident as a
You weren't as
sexual
open,
woman.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Without vodka. Now, you put a little
Uh-huh.
vodka,
Woo!
then the clothes are coming
Got a whole new
off.
Justy.
Justy, but again, that's not serving my purpose for my future self either. So there's that. And so Stephanie's reasons were a little bit different at
Yeah,
first.
yeah, and like Justy had said, she just knew. She knew she was going to be here one day, and I loved that determination about her. And I was like, wow, like, and I could see it because I could see when we would take like, our vacations and our cruises and whatnot, and you were like, well, I don't want to blow it all because I'm on vacation. Like she would still have that determination, which really inspired me and helped to keep me in check because I didn't always have it. I just wasn't mentally as strong as she was. And so for me, I felt hopeless. I really, really did, which is what led me to weight loss surgery in the first place because I feel like I had literally tried everything
Hmm.
and nothing. I would get 40 pounds was my magic number, and then it would all come back. Now looking back at it, it's all a mental game.
Hmm.
I wish I would
Yeah.
have known that then.
Right. Yeah.
But um, when it came time for me, what my why is what made me decide to have surgery because I thought, like a lot of other people thought, it's the easy way out. All I have to do is exercise and eat less. Fake news. That's not all that it
Right.
is.
For sure.
If that's all that it was, then we would have been where we needed to be a long time ago because God knows we gave the effort. But
Hmm.
back then, and I can remember it like it was yesterday, it was 2019, New Year's Eve rolling into 2020. And I felt like a stuffed sausage in a pretty glittery dress. And I hated just everything about myself. I was at a high weight again, and at this point I was with my husband and I had kind of what I call an instant family. I have two step kids and we'd take vacations and I was always on the other side of the camera and I wanted to be involved. I wanted to be able to do things that they were doing. I wanted to have the energy to do the things that they were doing. I wanted to get on the roller coaster. I wanted to go roller skating. All these years that I had been with him and involved with the kids and stuff, I literally took pictures. I never got on those roller skates. I'll take pictures, guys." And they didn't think twice about it. They're kids. They don't know. They just think I
Hmm.
don't like it.
Hmm.
That's not the case
Hmm.
at all. So my why was to be more involved with my family. But first and foremost, I was telling Jussie this earlier. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I know it sounds so cliche, but I was sick. I was literally sick. I may have looked healthy aside from my weight on the outside. I had high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic. I had fatty liver disease. I had just had my gallbladder removed a few years prior. I had sleep apnea, didn't know it. I knew I snored. People told me that, but I didn't know. Um,
You still might a little bit, by the way.
oh, do I?
Maybe a little.
Oh, I was told I didn't. Oh, well.
Maybe just in Mexico.
Oh, okay. How about that? Um, so yeah, but I had a lot going on and um it wasn't healthy. I was not metabolically well. And that is the end goal is to just I didn't want to have to take blood pressure medicine anymore. Um the only way to reverse fatty liver disease because it was non-alcoholic fatty liver disease was by losing weight. All of these things, everything was weight related. I have knee problem, it's like
Mhm.
my back. I had to go to rehab for my back. And it's just like I wasn't even I was in my early 40s when all of
Mhm.
this stuff started happening. I'm far too young for that. So first
Mhm.
and foremost for me was my health. I wanted my health back. But second was I wanted to be a part of an active part of my family, my core little, family. And I couldn't do that. I could show up, but I would just be, oh, I'll take pictures. And I didn't want to be fake. Like, I
Mhm.
just don't want to be fake. I didn't want the kids to now they're not my kids, but I own them like they are my own. I didn't want to go to their graduation and be, the fat mom there who can't make it up the steps and,
Mhm.
at that point I'd probably in a walker or wheelchair. Like I just started visioning that future
Mhm.
self that I did not want to be.
You know what's funny is I was at the mall years ago. I don't remember when it was. and there was this lady who was, like the super fit lady with like the, workout and the Nike hat and whatever, right? And then there was a lady next to her, not they weren't together, but she was in a scooter.
Mm.
And I remember thinking to myself,
Mm.
I could either be her
It's like
or
the
I could
choose
be
your own
her.
adventure book.
Yeah. So I'm like, I
Which
could
way are
be,
you
yeah, like
going?
I could be either one of these. It just depends on myself
Hmm.
and what I'm going to do to get myself there.
Isn't it crazy how
Hmm.
something like that long ago sticks with you?
Yeah.
It sticks
And
with
you know what
you.
else is funny? It's the mall. It's the mall people. So I
Oh, we
remember
just talked about mall people.
when I was little, when the girls were little, I was going through a divorce with their father, and I was just really sad. I didn't think that that's how my life was going to end up when I started out. And there was a guy in a wheelchair with no legs, and I remember Maddie looked at me and she said, "It's all right, Mom. You could have no legs." And her and I
She's
still,
not
to this
wrong.
day, we
Yeah.
taught like if we're having a bad day, it's like, well, you could have no legs. Like that's just been our thing the
Right.
entire
Right.
and they're in almost 30 now.
Silver
Shit, my kids are
lining.
almost 30. Anyways, so yeah, that's just funny how that just popped into my head. Like I remember thinking that I could be
Yeah.
her or I could be her. And
Yeah.
I wanted to be, and now I have a Nike hat
And the shoes to
and
match.
shoes to match.
I mean, and so you go through 40-ish years of your life of just like trying.
Hmm.
And if trying was enough to get us there, we would have been there because
Right.
man, we tried. As
Hmm.
long as I've known you, that's all that we've ever
Yeah.
talked about and
Hmm.
done and been. And you even said to me, I have a higher purpose. Like I don't know if it's that I want to be a coach, or you had
Hmm.
talked to me about that before. You're like, I have so much to give, and
Hmm.
I want to be able to give. And that's always been really inspiring to me too. I'm like, I don't know, like I cook and I like stuff and I do things, but I'm gonna come along this ride with you. I just didn't think that profoundly about things. I
Hmm.
just knew I was tired. And like when I say tired, I look back at pictures and I can remember, oh, my back was killing me that day, or like I
Hmm.
couldn't wait to sit down
Hmm.
there, or like I can look at pictures of me at my highest and just remember the feeling and remember how tired I was all the time.
Well, and you know what's funny though is you said that like I've kind of inspired you, but when I remember when you had your surgery and then you started losing weight pretty quickly, and I'd kind of plateaued around that time, and then you started losing weight and you losing weight, and I'm like,
God
because
damn
I'm
it.
competitive. I was like, oh, this bitch is not gonna get she's not gonna pass me. Well, you did, and
I mean,
you surpassed.
rightfully so.
Uh,
It's yeah, my stomach was
but
cut
that's what
out.
kind of motivated me too. I'm like, okay, well, if she could just eat like smaller amounts, like I obviously wasn't going to eat the same amount as her because she's taking vitamins and all this other stuff, right? There's a whole lot that goes into it. But I'm like, if she can survive a day with, a
Less
lot
food,
less
yeah.
food, well, then surely I
Right,
can.
I didn't
Plus,
fall out.
right. Plus, I'm not gonna, like, we've been in this fat business together for a long
Right, we
time.
really have
I'm not
been.
gonna her be in the
Challenges and
skinny
yeah.
business by herself.
Mhm.
So that was kind of, part of my motivation as well. So I think that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, and that's just it, like, telling your story and being out here like this,
Hmm.
you don't know who you're going to
Hmm.
inspire.
Yeah.
It's the person sitting right next to you that
Uh-huh.
we genuinely cheer each other on,
Hmm.
like, and I took a screenshot of my weight this morning to send to her, and then I just was so busy I forgot to send it, because
Hmm.
whenever we hit like a low or something, it's like, "Hey, bitch, look at me."
Right. Uh-huh.
And I did today, and it was very unexpected, but I did wake up and poop too, so
Oh
that was a
yeah. I
beautiful
haven't
thing.
done that in a couple days, but I was 189, which is the first time in my life I've been under 180
Yeah, and I was
or one under 190.
I was
Sorry.
151. I don't think I ever thought I'd see like a 150 anything, but
Hmm.
151 point like point 0.4, I think. And I'm just like,
And
holy
like
shit.
I size 8 pair of pants. I bought two size 8 pair of pants today that fit me really good. And the funny thing is, like, I remember, did you remember the movie Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
And she goes in, I think it's Pretty Woman. She goes into like a store and the lady's like, or the salesperson was like, oh, a perfect size 6.
Hmm.
And in my head, a perfect size ever since then has been 6.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, shit, I'm perfect then.
I'll never be a size 6.
I'm
And
perfect in
listen,
Banana Republic anyway.
right, right, Kinsey. I'm perfect in
Yeah.
Kinsey. But I'm like, oh my God, I'm so close to perfect. But
Yeah.
then I thought, bitch, you are perfect.
Right. No,
like,
seriously. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that size 6 for some reason that had stuck into my head.
Yeah. And it's funny because, and we talk about this all
But
the
it was
time.
18 forever.
Look,
Like
and
that was my size.
I
for a
was a
long, long time.
I was
I
a
got up to 24.
I was a 22, 24.
Hmm.
My jeans, the jeans I had sent you the picture of
Yeah.
me in both legs, they were 22, and that wasn't even my biggest jeans,
Hmm.
but they had really good stretch in them, and you can tell I stretched them the hell out because they're like that's why I saved those. Everything
Hmm.
like nobody wanted those, so everything else I gave away
Hmm.
or sold, but those I saved because they were beat to hell, and I'm like, these are my actually I threw them in the trash today because I
Hmm.
was like, I think I'm done with this. I got both legs in one side. I
Hmm.
put the chef coat on. If you follow our Instagram, you've
Right.
seen that. And I'm like, okay, I think it's time to sometimes you have to let go of things. Like
Hmm.
I'm moving and I'm not trying to
Hmm.
take my clothes with me anymore. That's all I
Hmm.
saved, but anyhow, um yeah, you just don't know who you're inspiring. So
Hmm.
for us, I just knew she kept talking about there's a bigger purpose for me. There's more that I got to do. I'm like, cool, let's do it. Like, okay.
I still feel like there's a bigger purpose too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I mean, my job is something that I love and it's a great job and that sort of thing. But my why now is much different than my towel why, which that was a very important why
Yeah.
back then when I was 300 pounds and I could barely fit a beach towel around me. So that was really important. You know, being confident naked was really important. It's not that important anymore because I can do it now.
Hmm.
So now my why has shifted. I feel so good that I don't ever want to feel bad again.
Yes.
And so that's my biggest why is
Yeah.
that I feel free.
Hmm.
I can't even explain it. And it was I didn't even feel this until after the skin removal surgery. So I feel free.
And the funny thing is, right around the time and I think it has to do with Manjaro, me taking Manjaro, when Justy had her skin removal surgery, that's when I lost the rest of my weight, was alongside of her,
Hmm.
just the timing of it with the
Hmm.
Manjaro that helped me. And while I haven't had skin removal surgery, like I still have my flabby arms and stuff, but my belly is not so bad. And so I feel free.
Hmm. Yeah.
I feel the same. I've lost 60 pounds, I think, um, since I've been taking Manjaro at this point, something around there. Um, and I feel free too. And it all happened for both of us at
Hmm.
the same
Same time.
time.
Hmm. Yep. And then another why for me now is because I really just want to help people. I
Hmm.
want people to not live and feel the way that I felt and lived, although I do appreciate the journey I have been on. I feel like I think I put it on our Instagram. Um, I was given this mountain to show other
Hmm.
people it can be moved.
Yeah.
And that's honestly how I feel. Like I feel this is all just part of my journey and part of
Like you're a
my
shepherd.
future.
You can show people the way.
Like my future. And
Yeah.
I'm going to still make pastries. We're going to still make muffins every day.
Right.
But I feel like there's an other part of my life that I need to find that satisfaction of helping people with this type of morbid obesity or
Yeah.
chronic obesity or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it.
Mhm.
And through our podcast, I think we're doing that. And through our Instagram, I think we're doing that. But I still feel like there's more.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but I just still feel like there's
And
more.
I think that's what led us to here, led us to this point of
Hmm.
like, we've been doing this shit for too long to
Hmm.
not share it with people who are, 20 years younger, same
Hmm.
age, whatever, but
Hmm.
20 years younger than us in our path
Hmm.
that we want to help. It's like we just want to, we have so much to give, learn from our mistakes
Hmm.
because we had some people that we followed
Hmm.
too that we helped to learn from their mistakes or that they helped to guide us, but we want to then kind of pay it forward, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I'm in the same boat as you. My why is still a lot the same, but it has shifted. And because it's the same thing, I went to the mall and I could walk in any store I wanted
And
to and find
find whatever
something
you
that fit
want.
me right.
Yes.
Now, I did go through like 8 pairs of jeans to find the
Hmm.
two that fit right
Hmm.
in just
But
in one store.
before it would have been almost in tears.
Right.
Or I could have gone to two stores. I could
Or
have gone
too
to
hot.
Torrance and I could have gone to Lane
Right.
Bryant.
Sweating to
Right.
death.
Right. Sweating
Which
to
I
death
was
every
freezing. I was into it only because I do love their leggings, and I
day.
saw a dress in on a mannequin that or an outfit that I needed, and I bought it.
Hmm.
But I was in their fitting room and I was freezing
Hmm.
because it is towards for bigger girls,
Right.
and they make it colder because they know you're going to be in there sweating, and I'm like,
Right.
like
Yeah.
freezing in there. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. It's so cold.
My big why, like other than I want to help people and that and this and that, is very superficial. I love clothes,
Yeah.
and I have always loved clothes. I've always liked to match my things and this and that and
But
what
we've
have
never
you.
really been
But I've
able
never
to
been able
style.
to.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
never been able to style
Hmm.
because we just had to get what fit us.
Right. And what covered the things that
Right.
needed to be
And
covered.
maybe we could get a color we liked.
Right, right. And so now it's kind of like I'm going to our company is sponsoring a Alzheimer's gala, and I'm going to. I had to wear a dress, a fancy dress,
Mm.
and I tried on so many dresses, and I was just like, "Holy shit! Why does everything look good?
Yeah.
Like it looked good on me because I
Yeah.
have a flat tummy and a tiny waist, and I have not tiny, but smaller waist, smaller than my butt and my hips.
Right.
So I'm curvy, and I bought this amazing dress. I feel amazing, and I don't even have to wear Spanx. I
Hmm.
don't have to be uncomfortable. I can
Right.
like wear my normal bra. I don't have to be like a sausage.
Right.
Like it's just gonna be
Pulling things up, shifting things around.
yes,
That's
yes.
exactly how I felt. Coincidentally, I also needed a fancy pants dress. And I bought a couple of them and I tried them all on, but this one in particular that I'm wearing, same thing. In what I had on with it when I took like the pictures and stuff, I just had like my regular underwear on. It is takes a regular bra. It's got some stretch to it. It's comfortable. And normally it's like you are like a damn sausage
Yeah.
stuffed into
Mhm.
something just to not have all the lines and
Lines and
creases and whatnot
creases and
showing. Yeah.
jiggle and dimples and all that
Yeah.
thing. And
So we both have a love of clothing now,
yeah, and
which is good. And
so that's kind of and it's bad for my pocketbook.
Mhm.
So now that I have gotten more clothes than I probably need for the whole year, I'm going to stop
Mhm.
because I'm saving. Now, my next why, I'm going to reveal that one, is I'm having my legs done. So I sent in my deposit to Dr. Galvez, the same doctor who did my skin removal surgery. So my why now is to have that surgery and to I want my legs to be strong as fuck, just like I worked for 6 months before my surgery to get my abs and everything
Mhm.
strong so I could heal better. And I feel like I
So you can
healed
get
really
up and
well.
down off the
Get up and
toilet.
down off the toilet, all that stuff. So I am going to have the skin removed from my legs probably January or February of next year. And so that's my going to be my that's my big why now. So every time I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like going to the gym, even though I do love the gym once I get there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. I think you did you post something about that or I
Oh,
forget. Yeah,
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 yeah.
on our Instagram. So that's my big why now. So listen, I'm going to do all the squats. I'm going to do all the lunges. I'm going to do all the things to get these legs as strong as possible and continue on my healthy journey.
Yeah.
So my bottom can match my top.
Right. And so my whys have evolved a bit too. While I still have the same 2, the health is never gonna
Right.
change. Like,
Mhm.
that's a constant for me. I don't take any medication. Well, I take my weight loss medication. I don't take any medication to, help an illness, let's put it that way. No blood pressure, no diabetes, no, nothing. I don't
Mhm.
take any medication. I take vitamins, and I take omeprazole, which is I had weight loss surgery. I had sleeve surgery, and that's part of it.
What does
Um,
that do? I don't know.
for heartburn and
Oh,
what
okay.
and burn or like to prevent stomach ulcers and
Oh,
things like
okay.
that. And so I had GERD. I had mild GERD before, and I only took
What's
omeprazole. Like
GERD?
GERD is gas
What?
heartburn.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I haven't heard it in years, but
GERD.
anyway,
It stands for gastrointestinal.
something, something,
Yeah,
something.
huh?
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Go ahead and Google that. But yeah, I had mild GERD before surgery, because they do an endoscopy to check that out to make sure you don't have any
Mm.
ulcers or anything before they check your stomach out to make sure it's healthy before you have surgery. So we discovered that I had mild GERD, which I knew because I took omeprazole, but I don't, or like, which is like Prilosec or, one of those. I never took it every day. I took it every other day. I just had to keep it under control.
Mm.
And,
Gotcha.
we thought it would go away after, and it did not.
Hmm.
And so I just same thing every other day, and the doctor's like, "Cool, like it's not a problem." So I just take it every other day, and sometimes if I forget, if I forget to put it in my pill box or I have to go buy more, whatever, by like day 3 or 4, I'll start to be like, "Oof." Yeah. So it's
Heartburn's the worst. I had it both
yeah,
pregnancies really, really bad.
and it's not anything. I don't notice it because I keep it under control.
Mm.
So that's the
Mhm.
only like I guess medication that I take aside from vitamins. And so I wanna keep it that way.
Mhm.
I felt like in my 40s, I was too young to be on a forever medication,
Mhm.
for because blood pressure, which
Mhm.
I know I've mentioned Dr. G a few times, but if you've ever watched Dr. G Medical Examiner, you see people that ignore the signs of things like that,
Mhm.
and then they have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like you
Mhm.
didn't take your blood pressure medicine. Well, your heart is pounding so hard
Mhm.
because your blood pressure is so high that you've now given yourself a heart attack. But you can't just ignore those things. And it's
Mhm.
part of you wants to just ignore it and sweep it under the rug and say, I'm not taking a medication the rest of my life. And then part of you's like, well, I got to take this medication the rest of my life because of this issue. But then there's the part that's like, I don't want any of that. I just want to be
Mhm.
healthy.
Well, and then there's also like, with the heart example that you just said. So, but there's so many signs that our body gives us from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So when your body feels full, it's telling you you ate too much. And
Hmm.
then we do it over and over and
Right.
over again and we don't
Right.
listen. So what does your body do now? It says, okay, I'm going to start putting pounds on you.
Right.
So that's a sign to not eat so much. And then we do it over and over and over again. And then we get overweight. Oh, wait. Okay, bet you're not listening to me. I'm going to
Yeah.
make your knees hurt.
Yeah.
You're not listening to me. I'm going to give you some high blood pressure.
Right.
You're not listening to me.
Right.
And it all starts
It's
with
like your
just
check engine
yeah,
light.
it's like but we just
All
ignore and
the bells and
ignore
whistles are going off on
and
the
sweep
dashboard.
under the rug and sweep under the rug until we are this ball of unhealth
Yeah.
and unhappiness.
Right.
Honestly,
And you're in the wheelchair.
right? You're the
Yeah.
woman in the wheelchair
Yeah.
at the mall,
Yeah.
and that's just that's my why. That's not going to be me
Yeah.
at all.
And people have told me, I've
Mhm,
heard it several times from people, after weight loss surgery, you're going to gain weight back. And I'm like, no, I'm
mhm,
determined. I am not gaining this weight back.
mhm.
And even when I started to, I immediately went to the doctor, like, I help.
Right,
Help. And
right,
because I didn't come this far to only come this far and then to lose it all.
right.
I love my life. I love the way I feel. I love the mobility that I
Mhm,
have. I love going to the gym and being able to now when I'm on the floor and I'm doing like after body pump and you're doing your core stuff that
mhm,
I never used to be able to lift my legs up because it hurt my back so
mhm,
badly because my butt was so big and the curve was so big that it
mhm,
killed my back to lift my legs to do
mhm,
anything. Now I can do that. Now I can plank more. Now I can do side planks. Now I can
mhm,
I can do these things and I'm like,
mhm.
"Oh, look at me. I don't have to modify everything that I
Right.
do."
And for me, another why, big why now is just pure pride.
Yes.
Like I am so fucking proud of myself. And I want to continue to be fucking proud of myself.
Yeah.
My mom is proud of me. My friends are proud of
I'm
me.
proud of you.
People around me are proud of me. And
And people are watching, and
and
that's
people
a
are
big thing
watching.
for
And
us.
so for me, I'm super competitive. And so I'll be damned if I'm going to lose this game
Right.
because I'm winning right now.
Right.
And so I took a lot of training to be a winner, but I'm winning right now. And my pride is not going to let me fail. My
Right.
pride is not going to let me go back. I am so proud. The other day, the trainer at the gym didn't know me. It's a new gym. She's like, "You have a great body." I'm like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
And
Pew, pew,
I
pew,
was like, I was like a dad, and she had no clue that I
Right.
lost over
Right.
100 pounds. She had no clue I just had weight loss
It
surgery.
blows people's minds when you tell them that. They're like, "Wait, what?" And you
What?
show them a picture, they're
Yeah.
like, "That
Oh,
was
I'm sure
you?" I'm
like that
like,
was
"Oh,
you.
yeah, that was
It
me."
blows our mind too, quite
Yeah.
frankly,
Yeah.
sometimes. But so for me, it's like it used to be just like little tiny things like, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. But now it's like bigger.
Yeah.
I want to influence people. I want to continue this feeling. I want to be proud. I want other people to be proud. I want to share my journey. I want to help others. So it's more of more a larger, more holistic
Yeah.
type of feeling. And yeah, so we're pretty determined that.
Yeah, and so I think our new whys
Hmm.
are very much the same
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we both are feeling this kind of euphoric feeling and we love it. And
We
I
started off differently. We
yeah,
got here differently.
yeah.
We're gonna stay here differently,
Yeah,
right?
probably so, yeah.
But or we're gonna continue
Continue, yeah.
differently. But we still have kind of the same reasonings behind that.
Yeah.
There was something else we were gonna talk about.
So honoring our before and
Oh,
why, and that's
mm-hmm,
what I was about to
mm-hmm,
lead into because I think it's really important. I've had this in a few other situations where people reminded me to honor your before why because it's really easy to look at these new pictures and then leave that bitch behind.
mm-hmm,
But she's who did all the work. She was the brave one. She
mm-hmm,
was the one who took me to that seminar to even learn about weight loss surgery
mm-hmm,
when in my heart I knew it was the easy way out and I was just so defeated. I was like, I'll take the easy way at this point.
mm-hmm.
This shit ain't easy.
Right.
Newsflash.
Uh-huh.
I was wrong. And so
Uh-huh.
is every single one of you that thinks it's easy was wrong as well.
And for me, she's the one who just didn't fucking give up
Yeah.
and that just was determined and knew very clearly what I wanted to be,
Yeah.
and just didn't give up. And I appreciate her. I
Yeah.
appreciate her very much because she's been through some shit.
Yeah. That's
She's
that
been
old
through some
Cadillac had
divorces.
yeah.
She's raised two kids on her
She
own.
carried a lot.
a lot of
A
shit.
lot of mental baggage, a lot
Mhm.
of actual weight,
Right.
just a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's like you
Mhm.
have to continue to remind yourself that
Mhm.
we did not lose her. We are not stuck up. We're not snobs. We're not any of that. We're still the same person.
Mhm.
Our priorities have changed. Our outlook on life has
Our
changed.
confidence has
And
changed.
to be honest with you, in 15 years or so that we've known each other, not quite, but if we haven't changed, what are we doing?
Right. Right.
I worry about the
Right.
people who
I
haven't
haven't
changed at
changed.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm just a forever evolving person
Mhm.
that I just want to do good. I want to be good. I want to feel good.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where we are. So yeah,
Yeah.
don't ever stop honoring that person that was, your before. So when you're doing your comparison pictures, when I took that video of me in that chef coat, I was like, and I am. My weight is cut in half. I could literally put two of me in there,
Mhm.
and it's insane and it's mind blowing. And I got up and I went to work every day in that
And like,
4X
how did
chef
we do
coat.
it? Yeah.
Yes. How did I
Yeah.
do
Yep.
that?
Yep.
So yeah, that
Yeah.
that was one bad bitch. That's what I do
Right.
know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Doing what we did, being 300 pounds is a bad bitch, and we're
Yeah.
just badder bitches now.
Yeah. Cuter.
Yeah. And so the next thing that we're going to talk about, what's next is
Is we're going to talk about regain
regain.
and
We both have had it.
yeah, and we're
Mhm.
going to have a guest on for
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
And part of it, we're going to segue here quickly. Um we both said we're determined not to have regain, and I mentioned it earlier. I've had people who have had weight loss surgery before. Actually, that's most, or people that say like, "Oh, my cousin's brothers, blah blah blah," or
Mhm.
people who have had it will tell me like, "It's okay, it's okay," and I'm like,
Mhm.
"But it's
It's
not."
not.
And maybe for you it's okay, but in my mind, I'm okay with 10, 15. Once I hit 20 in my regain recently, I was like, absolutely not. And that
Mhm.
is when I went to go see the doctor. I don't want to be a statistic.
And that's what
I want to be
I
a
did
good
too. I
statistic.
regained 20 last year and then broke up with him.
Mhm.
And then lost my 20 plus before my surgery. So
Right.
the 20 for me, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to maintain within 10.
Yeah. I want to try to
Mhm.
maintain within 10
Mhm.
too, but I feel like 20 is a red flag.
Yeah.
20 is a huge red flag, and something's got to change at that point because I don't want to go back to where I was. While I honor my future self, I love myself right now
Yeah,
and I
for
don't
sure.
want to go back.
Mhm.
And so um but everybody has regain and it's how do you handle it?
Mhm.
Are you hiding under a bag of chips to try to handle it? Like what are you doing about it? And
Mhm.
so we're going to have a regain specialist on
Yep.
for our next episode.
Yep. So that'll be super exciting. So stay tuned and listen
Yeah.
to us next time.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.